Well, my name is Baldwin English Jr. When I was at Union many years ago, everyone called me Roddie English. It's from my middle name, Rodriguez, and that was a nickname that was given to me since I was very young. Well, I came to Union in '88. No, I came to Union in 1985. I graduated eighth grade in 1988. So I spent my entire middle school and high school career here. While here, particularly in middle school, I think I was very quiet, uh, quieter than I thought because when my friends and I get together, they may reminisce on a story that happened during that time, and I'm like, "Yeah, I was there." Like, "No, you didn't start coming to Union until ninth grade." I'm like, "No, I was literally right beside you when this happened," but for whatever reason, they don't remember me then. In high school, I uh, played basketball, trumpet in the band, and sang in the choir. Also held leadership positions through student council and so forth. So I really took advantage of and enjoyed my time at Union. I was also Mr. Union Academy. Yes, I forgot about that. I was Mr. Union Academy, won it in my 10th grade year. So or I think 11th grade, I was Mr. Union Academy during 11th grade. Yes, so that includes a couple of appearances here and there, being in the parade, a Martin Luther King Day parade that we used to be involved in. Those were good times. So yeah, I did a lot, and I think Union affords you that opportunity. Being a small school, you still have a lot of activities to get into, and it afforded me a lot of opportunities to lead and just to be involved. To get me from Union to I guess where I am today, it was a series of events and decisions. I think Union played a role in I think relationships is one. Right, I had a lot of strong relationships coming out of Miami Union Academy. During that time, during my last year or so here, I picked up the bass guitar and began to play with a couple of my friends from here and church. Um, I was able to earn a full academic scholarship to FIU. So where a lot of my classmates went to Oakwood, I said I'm going to stay here because I'm going to be a professional jazz gospel, bass player person in this mahogany group. Um, it was four of us, and two of the guys stuck with it, and they're professional musicians now, and two of us kind of went our own ways and did our thing. But that kept me in Miami in FIU. Had it not been for that group, I probably would have gone to Oakwood. To tell you the honest truth, my parents were set on that. So while at Union, I'll just say that uh, I had some good teachers that I think really instilled an appreciation for certain subjects. Right, you had Miss Brise with Spanish and the math, um, and you had Miss at the time Miss Bowen, but now Miss Garner, who was our English teacher. And we always had really interesting discussions with Miss Garner just on language, the definition of the word, and the proper use of the word buxom. I remember us laughing about that probably in an immature fashion. um, Going to see Shakespearean plays and so forth on school trips, on field trips, and I think that played a role in just being able to further foster and develop writing skills and so forth, to the extent that helped me get into and then succeed to some extent in law school. I believe that I could tie it probably back to Miss Bowen Gardner and the experiences that we had and really the fun times that we had in our English and literature courses here at Union. So I have a theory that when it comes to your Christian walk, it's like a three-legged stool. It's your home life, your spiritual life at home, spiritual life at church, and then your spiritual life at school. And you want to make sure that your child has the best footing to be able to be balanced, right? Could you balance on two of those legs? Perhaps, maybe. A little tougher, but with three, you can be pretty secure. So the value that Union had in terms of my spiritual walk was one, surrounding me with other, I'd say, young men that came from households with a similar worldview and had similar parents and guardians that had similar expectations of our kids, of their kids. So when we went out and had fun, it was uh, it was different than I think some of my friends and even family members that perhaps went to other schools did not have, right? There was a certain level of comfort that says, oh, well, Roddie's with Ronald and he's with Joel and he's with Carl, they'll be okay, you know? Um, I can significantly draw a distinction between that experience with the experience of some people in my age group that did not have an opportunity to go to Union. So those relationships were one, I think it kept me out of a lot of trouble, right? And it kept me on a straight and narrow path. And it surrounded me with people that are doing, I think, great things in their chosen fields. So from a spiritual standpoint, it's that missing piece or that additional piece of the puzzle that paints a perfect picture of who you can be and who I am today, and certainly who you can be once you align yourself with a with other individuals, like I said, that share the similar worldview that you have. So some people think that there is a deficit when it comes to sending their kids to Adventist schools, Union in particular, Christian schools in general, and I did not experience that. I spent 3 years. Let me back it up. I was born in New York, and I went to an Adventist school there through second grade. And when I moved to South Florida, I ended up going to a public school for third, fourth, and fifth grade. When I came to Union in sixth grade, my summers, back then in your summers, you can go and take classes to kind of get ahead, right? I think summer school now, for the most part, is remedial in public school. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I would take certain classes at the local high schools there where I was, and I was not impressed, all right, to be certain. I was not necessarily impressed. Maybe it was the people that were going to public school at that point, I don't know, but I certainly did not feel as if I was at a deficit. And these classes that were, again, were not remedial in nature, but could, put you ahead. I never felt as if I was at a deficit. I took part in standardized testing and always scored in the 90s percentile, and these were testing nationwide, and these were young people or students that weren't all Adventists or all in Christian schools for that matter. So I never felt as if I had a deficit. When I went to college, I never felt as if I had a deficit, that the people that I was in class with were smarter than me. If I had a deficit, it was because maybe I spent too much time shooting pool and playing basketball, but certainly not because of anything Union did or didn't have in preparing me for success at the next level. As I said, I earned a full scholarship to FIU, and that was based not just on grades, but some of the standardized testing that's out there as well. I was just having a conversation with my kids the other day, and it was about entrepreneurship and so forth, and just thinking about ideas to where they can have their own business, whatever the case may be. And I shared that back in, this would have been the late 80s. This would have been 80. This would have been, I was in middle school during this time, because this was at Union on 36th Street, right? Mueller Street, the Mueller building. And back then, you have the slim pants that are out now, the skinny jeans. Back then, we had our uniform pants, but we had moved from, the bell bottoms or kind of the straight big pants to what we call straight legs, right? So you just kind of narrow and taper the leg down towards the ankle. And my mother, I grew up in a household where my mother always had a sewing machine, and she could sew. She would make dresses for herself. She would make items of clothing for me to wear. And I knew my way around a sewing machine. So one day I straight-legged my own pants, and they were clean because I used the sewing machine. It was clean. Guys would do it, and you'd see the strings hanging out. They'd use pink string, and it's a blue pants. It was just messy. Mine was clean, like it just came off of a tailor's showroom floor, I guess. And guys would ask me how you did it. And I would charge them $5, and I would do it for them. And it literally took me 10 minutes to knock it out. So on any given day, I'd go home with 3 or 4 pants and come back with it the next day, and I had 15, 20 bucks in my pocket. I was literally balling, so I can get an extra slice of pizza. I would do anything I wanted to do, and I like the fact that I had that opportunity to make a little money because my friends were too lazy to try and figure out how to do it themselves properly. So I'm gonna call out Jude Villain. I did Jude's pants. I did some other guys' pants. I did a bunch of guys, but I do remember doing Jude's one time as well. Ed Joseph, I think I did some of the Joe Boys. So you're welcome, guys. You're welcome. So I did share the other day at church with some folk a little testimony about being Adventist in a corporate environment today, or being a Sabbatarian, right? Someone who observes the seventh-day Sabbath, the way we've grown up and the way we know how to do it. And there are certain things that you carry with you from coming to Adventist school all my life. Even now, sometimes they start a meeting at work, and I'm ready to bow my head and close my eyes, right? Because it's just ingrained. We start off with prayer. It happens all the time. But more importantly, I think that there is this strength that you develop, a confidence that says, I can honor my faith and succeed in the world at the same time, right? It does not have to be a compromise. You don't have to lose yourself in the world. The other day I had an opportunity to take the helm of another nonprofit organization, and it's a Chamber of Commerce, and I've been involved with this chamber for a few years since I've been back. And every year they have their annual meeting where they install the board of directors, install the new chairman. And I've been on the board, but I've never been able to attend that meeting because it is on Friday night. So I never go. There are a lot of things that happen on Friday night. You just can't go, right? It's not the end of the world. I do what I have to do. And this year I was being installed as a chairman, and we're in this meeting, and I saw the date there, and it was October something, and it was a Friday night. And I said, all right. I just spoke to the executive director afterwards and said, look, I can't go. Obviously, it's my Sabbath. I'll get sworn in, at another time. And at this meeting, you have, it's a Chamber of Commerce that covers a certain area. So you have mayors from various cities and business leaders and so forth. It's kind of a big deal for that area. And I just assumed they would proceed on Friday night. But this organization went back and changed the date to Saturday. And all these people, all these city mayors, and the mayor of Miami-Dade County, my mayor, Daniela Cava, they all changed and had this event on Saturday night, and they all showed up as well. And the event started before sunset. My family and I got there right around sunset, and the actual program started around the time we got there, so we didn't really miss anything important. And I think it didn't reconfirm to me. I was happy that they did it, but I've experienced that formula before, right? When I trust in God in a certain tough situation in terms of honoring Him, He figures it out, and it all works out in the end. So more than affirmation to me, because I've been through it many times, I think it was good for my kids to see that, and for even other young people at church, anyone who kind of comes across who I've shared that testimony with, that you don't have to compromise, whether it's a Sabbath, whether it is, maintaining yourself before marriage, whatever the case may be. You can honor God and still be successful in whatever that major endeavor is. So that's what I appreciate from being instilled in me at a young age here at Miami Union Academy, Miami Union Adventist Academy. So if I had a message for our current students here at Union, I think the first thing I would say is kind of what I said before, right? You don't have to compromise who you are or what you believe to garner any level of success when it comes to going to college and getting into and growing in your career. I'd add on top of that, I believe that you can do anything. When I look back at the people that have come through the school, right, the modest hallways of Miami Union Adventist Academy, and I see we have a Google executive, we have a Broadway or at least off Broadway star, Dr. Jobson. We have Commissioner Brise, my classmate, who acceded to some of the highest levels of government here in the state of Florida. I mentioned before one time I was riding with Commissioner Brise, who also graduated in 1992 from this school, who was born in another country. English is not his first language. I believe it's his third language. Parents who sacrificed and poured a lot into his success. And we're driving down the road and he gets a call from the White House because President Obama wants to figure out, as he was preparing for his second election, who he needed to speak with on an upcoming trip to Florida. And just to think, when he hung up that phone call, and we're just in awe at this idea that this young kid born in, or at least raised in Honduras and Haiti and Argentina and so forth, who came from very modest background, would have the president's office call him to find out where the president or who the president should meet with. And we really took some time to really let that sink in. You know, wherever you are right now, there is no barrier to where you want to be. Whether a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a pastor, whatever the case may be, an engineer. We have engineers that are out there that have walked these halls as well, that are making tremendous strides in their industry. Business owners, anything that you want to do, you can do it. And if there's any way that I can be of assistance, help you get there, just let me know. And if it's money, I'll point you to the direction of Mr. Cillier for that. If I were able to speak to all of our alumni, I would say that Union or any school is only as strong as its alumni network. Whether it is a multi-billion-dollar endowment at some of the largest universities in the country, or whether it is a small school, one-room school in a country or very rural area, that school is only going to be as strong as those that pour back into it. So what do I mean by pouring back into it? Obviously, it can be money. It can certainly be your time. If you are able to dial in, or now we're all used to virtual connectivity there, you can lend your voice and to inspire some of the young people that are here. You can mentor, find one or two kids that we could potentially connect you with they can ask questions of you and figure out how they can get to where you are from where they are. And certainly something that everybody can do is to just pray for Union Academy and allow God to allow us to reach our full potential. So there's something that each of us can do to make Union the best and all that it can be. So my name is Baldwyn, English junior, Roddie English. I'm a class of 1992 graduate of Miami Union Adventist Academy. Currently, I'm an external affairs manager with Florida Power and Light and a recovering attorney. And I'm a proud graduate of Miami Union Adventist Academy.